If you're showing up online and starting to get a ton of hate, then congratulations, because you're doing something right. And I know this is super annoying to hear, but it's so true, and I'm gonna delve into why. But let's be honest, right? Even though you know a lot of that hate you're getting is nothing to do with you and it's all about them, it doesn't mean that stuff doesn't sting. Now, I get an unbalanced amount of hate online. And when I say unbalanced, I think that, well, I don't think I'm saying anything that controversial. I'm just going a little bit against the grain sometimes. I like to give people a dose of reality, but I get so much hate for the content I put out. And when I say hate, I mean I've had death threats, I've had people write to my parents and find their address, I've had all sorts of disgusting letters through, and it's just been, I don't even have a word for it. But no matter how strong you are, it can definitely take a toll on your mental health, especially if you're getting negativity all the time. You start to just wonder, is it even worth it, or is it better to just have a life in the shadows? So I've made some huge realizations lately, and I feel so much better about showing up online now because I've also found the ultimate mindset hack that will basically make you never care about negative comments online anymore, and you won't even bat an eyelid for every troll that comes on your post. And I guarantee you this is a great way to think about things, and I'm going to share that with you later, so stay tuned, you'll be in for a treat. So let's delve straight into these negative comments. Now, the thing is, pretty much every single negative comment is about them. It's nothing to do with you. You've triggered them for a reason. Lots of the negativity is actually just projection. You're hitting home, you're hitting that nerve, and it's causing them to lash out because you've just struck something inside of them. Think about every single viral post. It's because it's hit home somehow, good or bad, like whether it's a positive message that's been spread or whether it's a negative one, but every single post that goes mega viral that you see is because some chord has been struck. Now, if you're getting that attention, albeit negative, it's because you've struck a chord somewhere. Remember that people will be offended by absolutely anything. Their negativity is not a reflection on your worth or your message. It's a reflection on them and their issues. Remember, trolls don't show up because you're wrong. They show up because you're seen. There's a huge difference between hate and helpful feedback. So when you get a negative comment, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions when you see them. The first one is this someone who actually knows me and understands my context? Because if it's a random stranger, they don't know what you're about or your values or what you stand for, or haven't been following you for a while, then what you said could just been taken out of context. So that's number 1. Number 2 is this coming from a place of care or correction? Because some people come up and they come across negative, but actually it's because they really care about you and they actually have your best intentions at heart. And other people just want to correct you because you're offering a different opinion and they just want you to think like they do. So is it care or correction? And the third one is this about me or the thing? Because sometimes people are being negative because of the issues that they have with that thing that you're talking about, or they have issues with you. These are 2 very different things. You do not have to explain yourself to strangers on the internet who are committed to misunderstanding you. Now, I absolutely preach about doing in-person stuff, and that's largely because this stuff doesn't happen in person. This sort of miscommunication and misunderstanding just does not happen over a dinner table. And constantly online though, the written word is getting misconstrued, whether accidentally or intentionally. So now I think to myself, if they wouldn't say this to your face at a dinner table, they don't deserve my energy in the comments either. So even when we know all of this, it's totally easier said than done, because when we get those negative comments, they still hurt. We still have feelings at the end of the day. And I've tried so many different ways to kind of tackle this. As I said, I get an unbalanced amount of them and I feel like it's taken a toll. I even actually hired a VA pretty much full time to kind of filter out through the comments, go through my DMs, go through my comments, and just basically hide all the comments that were negative and only send me the positive ones that I could reply to them. But A, that was expensive, and B, she did not find that job very fun, let's just put it that way, and totally understandable. I know that when you're filtering through someone else's hurtful comments, it's definitely not as impactful because, you know, you don't have that personal emotion attached to it, but it's still not a fun job. So though that didn't really work for me, but I have got now some ways that I've been able to sort of handle negative comments, and I want to share them with you to hopefully some of these will help. So my biggest thing that I realised was that you can still care without internalising it. Because naturally, if someone's saying something horrible to you, you're going to care. Like, it's not very nice. You're naturally going to have feelings about it. But it's whether you can take that on board and let it go. That's what's really important. So I started doing a few different things, and I wanted to share them all with you, because some worked for me a little bit, some didn't work so well, but I wanted to share them all with you because everyone's a little bit different. So, for example, you could try reading the comment in a completely neutral voice. In fact, get an AI voice to read it out for you if you want, but basically make it completely devoid of emotion and just read it out for what it is and take it on board like it's data. So just get someone to read it out so it doesn't feel like attacking or anything like that, because how we interpret comments is basically personal. So I would say, like, strip it all out of emotion, read that back to you, and now that's essentially data. Is it useful? Is it not? If not, discard it. If it is, take it on board. So bear in mind that your nervous system was not built for receiving 300 opinions in one go. So don't treat it as if it was. I now have to take my time and pause before I respond to things, because I know that if I react immediately, it's usually not a great reaction. I have to now tell myself, if I receive anything that's riles me up and I get a reaction, I have to now wait 24 hours before responding to it, because pretty much every single time I respond to it straight away, I regret what I said at the time, because I'm fueled by other emotions and not by logic. So for me, that's what I do. So you've got to remember that every comment that you get doesn't deserve a clapback or a breakdown. So just be selective of who you respond to. So I'm not a fan of silencing people, but I do think we need boundaries. I don't believe in just blocking every single person that comes your way and doesn't agree with you. But if someone's just constantly hurling negativity at you and they're never ever contributing anything positive to your online presence, then why have them in your life? Just block them, curate that space. You're not censoring someone if you're just protecting your energy and your environment. So I welcome opposing comments on my posts all the time, because a lot of what I write is up for debate. The idea is I'm trying to spark interesting conversations. And so I want to hear from all these different viewpoints, because that's how you learn. But if someone's consistently disrespectful and that's all they're doing, like they're not offering their viewpoint with a respect to differing, then they're just gone. You just do not need them in your space. Now, I love welcoming different opinions, but at the end of the day, for me, it comes down to respect. Now, I think of it this way. If someone comes like knocking on your door and they're just yelling at you and they're screaming at you, are you going to invite them in and go, oh, do you want to have a cuppa? And just have them keep screaming at you? No, you're not going to want that. So shut the door in their face. That's the same thing I do now online. I just block them. I'm shutting the door in their faces. So I've been banging on about this a lot lately, but it's only because I've been going through this journey myself recently, and, you know, it all comes down to clarity. And, you know, I've been really kind of focusing my why and thinking back about all this sort of stuff and why I'm even showing up online. But I think that the best antidote to negativity is clarity. So what do I mean by this? Why am I showing up? I'm showing up because I really want to help people. I want helping people to sniff out the bullshit and stay safe out there and learn and grow their business and grow themselves, both personally and professionally. So when the negativity hits, I reconnect with my why. That's my why. Because for me, my why is always going to be stronger than their what. You have to remind yourself that every powerful voice in history has been criticized. It just comes with the territory. So if you're getting hate, it just means you're on the right track. I know that's not comforting to hear, but it's so true. Remember, irrelevant people rarely get backlash. So negative comments are inevitable, sadly. You're never going to please everyone, but you're here to talk to your people. You just got to find them. And if people don't like what you have to say, well, they can just jog on or scroll on. So I promise to let you in on a little secret of my way of dealing with negativity that will make you change the way you do it and never have these trolls get to you anymore. So I would often get caught up in some of the negativity online, like people would leave comments and they'd be so outwardly rude and they'd be voicing some ridiculous opinion. And you know what, even then when I say ridiculous opinion, it's their opinion, they're entitled to it. But you know, I think they'd be deliberately provocative, which is what I've never tried to do. I just want to voice my opinion. And so I tried to reason with them with logic and they would have none of it. And so I started to think of it this way. Every minute that you spend talking to these people online, you're essentially paying them your hard-earned cash. Let me do it this way, because this is how I reframed it in my head. Now, take whatever your hourly rate is. Let's say it's £120 an hour, because that's easy maths for the minutes. So you're essentially earning £2 a minute. Now, if you then spend just 10 minutes talking to this guy online and angrily just like typing back, that's 20 quid you've just given him. That's 20 quid that you could have been earning somewhere else that you've just given him. Now, then you do that with 10 other people, that's 200 quid. Now think about all those additional minutes that you spend bitching to your friends about them, pacing around your apartment, huffing and puffing, going down the pub to like let off some steam, going for a walk. All those other hours that you've wasted, you add up those minutes and essentially you've just given that person your cash because you've just thrown away this money. Because you could have been earning that money if you just parked them, hit buy, and then sat down, concentrated, worked on strategy and actually earned some money. But you've now bled all that time and your energy and now you're in this consistent negative mindset, and actually that negative mindset drags into other things and God knows how much money you've wasted. So I started to realise that every time I have a conversation with these people, I am draining every ounce of energy that I've got within me, and essentially I'm just throwing my money away on these people. And why would I throw my money away on these people? I would happily spend more time on positive people who lift me up because I'm going to see a benefit on that later on in other ways that aren't monetary. But with these guys, I'm literally just throwing my money away at them. Is it worth throwing away hundreds of pounds to have an argument with this person? If you turn around and think, actually it is. It's part of my mission to educate people and to, you know, do this and show up. And if you genuinely think that it's worth that amount of money, then go ahead and do it. But most of the time, I don't think it's going to be. And so that is the way I've reframed it now. And I never waste energy on these people again, because every time I do it, I start to feel pent up. I'm like, wait, how much is this costing me? And then I don't bother. So if you feel that this video has helped you today, then please do share it with someone else who's also trying to build their online presence. It's not easy. And if you've got any other ways that you deal with negativity, please drop them in the comments below. And, you know, I would love to learn from other people as well, so we can work out how we can fight these trolls together. And if you ever want to ask me any questions about how I've been dealing with it, then feel free to hit me up. Here are my contact details at the bottom, and please like and subscribe to this channel so you can find out more things like this.